Hey everybody, it's a beautiful day in Montreal. Actually, it's very early evening here. This is news of the day for today, NHL and, well, it's mostly NHL and some Habs. And I brought it to you a little late in the day for you regular watchers of my news of the day because I was hoping, well, I'm trying to make sure I get all the news from today in. So we'll get right to it without wasting much time here. So first item is something that actually happened this afternoon, but I think you guys can watch it on a rewatch. This is for you younger viewers. So NHL Fortnite Tournament was held today, I think between 2 and 5, and right now it is 6 o'clock, so I'm filming this a little after it finished. It's streamed today at 2 o'clock, so I'm sure that you can watch a replay. It is on Twitch, so anybody knows what Twitch is. And if you don't, just type it in and you'll find out. And it's a 3-hour tournament. There are 80 players taking part. I think 65 of them are NHL players. There's 28 teams. It is organized by the Avalanche's J.T. Comfort and the Maple Leafs' Zach Hyman. There's a $200,000 prize for the winner, and it goes to charity. So for all younger players or anybody interested in Fortnite and want to see the NHLers play it, I'm pretty sure if you go on Twitch, there's a restream or a replay that you can watch. Number 2, on this day, this is May 18th that I'm filming. On this day in 1971, Jean Beliveau played his last NHL game. It was a Game 7, 3-2 win over Chicago for his 10th Stanley Cup ring, and obviously his last. And he had a 10-year run, I believe, as captain, and that was the last game he played. He finished the playoffs with 22 points in 20 games, and that was tied for third amongst the NHLers. Amongst the league, excuse me. They're all NHLers when you're playing for the Stanley Cup, that's for sure. In 1973, Bobby Orr wins his 6th straight Norris Trophy. He's the first 6-time winner of any individual trophy in NHL history. He had 29 goals, 72 points for 72 goal assists. Because if it's not goals and it's not points, it's assists. So 29-72 for 101 points. And let me get back to that. And in second place for the scoring race was Montrealer Guy Lapointe with 19 goals, 35 assists for 54 points. I don't know if you saw, I did a video and I mentioned him in there. I don't remember what context now, but you can see how good Guy Lapointe was. 54 points, finished second in the league for defensemen. He's a good defenseman. He was probably the third guy on the big three, but he was still great. In 1986, Brian Skrudland scores 9 seconds into overtime for a 3-2 win over Calgary, and this is in Game 2 of the finals. Montreal obviously would go on to win. That was their second to last cup. He's the second player ever to score his first playoff goal in overtime in the finals. The other one, I think, was like in 1931 or 35, something like that. So, yeah, I don't know if anyone's done it since. Next item up. NHL considering only 2 cities for the hub cities. The NHL is considering using only 2 hub cities instead of 4. And apparently Vegas and Columbus, and not Vancouver. I had written here Vancouver, and then I read a little more, and it was Columbus, actually, that's probably biggest at the top of the list there. But Vancouver and Edmonton, I know, are in the running. There's apparently 12 teams that 12 cities they're still thinking about. But it looks like Vegas and Columbus, and it really is simple why Vegas. Vegas definitely has the hotel space because you're going to need hotel rooms for everybody that is working for the playoffs, and that's right down to any of the crew or anybody at the arena that is not a Vegas resident. All the teams with all their publicists and travel and this and that and the reporters and all that, they all have to be housed in 1 or 2 hotels, isolated from the regular population. And Vegas definitely does that. I think Columbus, because they have a big convention center there. So I imagine they have the room for that as well. And yeah, so that's what they're considering. Kind of makes sense, only 2, less movement around. Because think about it, if there's 4 hubs, 6 teams, those 6 teams aren't just playing each other over and over, right? So I don't know how they're going to work out the movement around like that. So it makes a lot of sense that you gather them in 1 or 2 cities. That's my opinion. So apparently that's where they're at. Next up is my hot take. Am I right? Yes. My hot take. So let me read what I wrote, and I'll give you my hot take. With the NHL expected to announce something this week, considering the draft and the season restart. Now, I did hear something that it could take a little longer. I don't remember exactly who said it, but I saw something on Twitter that the decision actually may come later than this week. So that makes 0 sense to me. So, let me see where I got to there. So because of this, I'm going to make this hot take. The NHL will run out of time to complete the season because of late decision making, but mostly because I don't think it'll be possible. It's just too soon, and I don't see how they're going to do it safely, and we're going to talk about that in the next ones. The next items. How sports can return according to Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci, for all you Canadians or anybody outside the U.S. who doesn't know who he is, I don't see how that's possible. He's the top health advisor, along with the woman, Dr. Bricks, and I think Fauci's soon going to be out of there because Trump's already talking bad about him. But Dr. Fauci, I'm not listening to the other guy, that orange-headed guy, the bad makeup and the bad hair. I don't listen to him. But Dr. Fauci, I do. He's saying that the only way he thinks sports can come back is if they isolate everyone involved, from GMs, coaches, players, and even the arena staff. Everyone in one hotel, and they're all tested at least once a week. So, and I think once a week is like, he says at least once a week. I think it's more like every couple of days. And I'll get into why. The seventh item, the last item, actually gives you an idea of how quickly it could happen that someone gets the disease. So there you go. So that's what Dr. Fauci says. And he doesn't say much more than that, just that they need to be all isolated together in one hotel or 2, and kept there, and they can't see their families, and they can't go there, and they can't go here, and they can't, you know what I mean? They have to be isolated, and they need to be tested often. And that's pretty much it. Now, next items are not necessarily NHL items, but they give you an idea of the difficulty of the NHL coming back through this. UFC fighter tests positive. A UFC fighter and 2 cornermen, and I don't know if it's his own cornermen or if it's 2 other cornermen that have participated, have tested positive for COVID-19. Now, the UFC started fighting, what is it? I think it's less than 2 weeks, and they've already got a fighter and a couple of cornermen that have it. It's difficult because of the contact. There's a lot of contact, and it's difficult. Hockey, a lot of contact, and even if you, in hockey, say they wear full face cover, full masks, right? The visors, but full coverage. So, kind of like a mask, right? Still, there's air holes because they got to breathe. So stuff can come out there, but they're also banging bodies. There's sweat. There's some kind of way to contaminate each other. And that's where the problem comes from. Next item, last one, is that there's 2 Bundesliga players have tested positive. And I heard that the whole team has to quarantine for 2 weeks or isolate for 2 weeks. I don't know how that works for the team. They can't play, and the league started. So, and that league started what? Thursday, Friday, maybe. I think it was before the weekend. So it's been 3 or 4 days because I'm filming this on Monday, and they already have 2 players testing positive. And that's soccer, where there's not as much contact as in hockey. So this is a problem, and I don't really see how the NHL is going to continue until there's some kind of treatment that if a player does test positive, that there's a treatment that allows you to get through the disease without really having your life in danger. Because can you imagine if, well, let's just go with the bet. Can you imagine if McDavid gets sick and he dies? What would they do? So this is a possibility for any player. I'm not just pointing out McDavid just because he's a star. But any player could get sick and they could die. And I don't know if it's worth... I don't think they're going to start. I really don't think there's going to be a way to do it safely yet. I think There's some more time that needs to be taken. They've got to find out if there's a possible way, not for a cure, but for some kind of a treatment. I know there's stuff that they're working on and testing to see if that actually can help you through it. If they have that, I can understand doing this. Or if there's a vaccine, which there won't be for a long time yet. There's no way there's a vaccine for them to start by July. I mean, it's just not possible. It's not possible. No matter what that guy leading in the States, that guy there that's got to get elected out of there, no matter what he says, because it's all a bunch of lies. I don't really believe much out of the U.S. anymore. It's not possible that there's going to be a vaccine even by the end of the year, like he says. I don't see how. So I don't see how they do it. I don't see how they play and continue this season without the really big risk of somebody, and many of the players and other people that are there, getting sick. So that's my hot take. Going back to number 4, my hot take is I don't really think that the season is going to get completed at all. I just don't see it. And I don't know when they're going to make any kind of announcement. They're supposed to be this week, and then Monday rolls around, and you already read something like, oh, it might take a little longer. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, there you go. There's my news of the day for today. And hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give a thumbs up. And while you're on the way down there to do that, there's a comment section there. Please leave me any comments about any of this and what you think. Do you think they'll be able to get it done? Do you even want them to get it finished? Or wait till next season to possibly start then? And any of these items, whatever I've got up there, let me know what you think in the comment section. While you're down there, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, ring the notifications bell, and that is going to get you your daily fix of Blue, Blanc, Rouge right here at Talkin' Habs. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Please stay safe out there, and I will see you next video. Peace out.